morning, WLSers. It is a mostly cloudless day in Spokane. It's supposed to be like 40-something degrees after the cold snap and snow we had over the last weekend. It is going to be water everywhere. As you can tell, I'm feeling a little bit better this morning. This is a hard time of year for me, but I'm trying to focus on the good things. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a WLS weight report and baby report. They kind of go hand in hand because, of course, one affects the other. Babies are great. All three of them are doing well. The doctors say that everything about my pregnancy and my family history indicates that they don't think there's any reason, barring any preeclampsia and preterm labor, that I might not make it to 36 weeks. When they originally found out it was triplets, they told me that my goal was to make it to 32 weeks. So that means everything is going good. My weight, when I reported to you last week, I was 334. Now I am 329. I lost 5 pounds and nobody's worried about it. It's not a big deal. Really, that seems to be what my weight is doing with this pregnancy at this time. I go up 5 pounds, I go down 5 pounds, I go up 5 pounds, da-da-da-da-da. And considering I never really made it down to goal, so my BMI was still a bit high, there's a possibility they might not be looking for me to gain too much weight. Triplets considering, you know what I mean? Like the average weight gain recommendation for triplets is 50 pounds normally. They haven't made any weight recommendations. I'm in a few like pregnancy after weight loss forums and things like that, but where everyone is talking about the weight gain that they were asked to do and da-da-da-da-da. I haven't been asked to do anything. They haven't said they want me to gain this much weight in a couple of months. They want me to gain this much weight in my second trimester. None of that. They just want, I think the way that we're working this pregnancy for me is that as long as the babies are healthy and growing properly and I'm not having any complications, then we're just gonna keep on going. No sense in worrying about something without it being an issue. Bunch of tests for me these couple of weeks. I've got a few things to do at home that I have to take into the lab later. They want to get a baseline on my blood pressure so that later they can monitor whether or not I am actually preeclamptic or not. And then I'm also doing, I think I talked about last week that I failed my first blood glucose test, which is early. They gave it to me early because of my family history of diabetes. So I failed the 1-hour test. We're doing the 3-hour test next week. It took some time to get it scheduled. There was some miscommunication between me and the office about whether I was supposed to contact the lab or the lab was going to contact me. Anyway, they don't seem in too much of a hurry, so I'm assuming that I just kind of failed the first test. Maybe I'll pass the third. I've been looking at some information online about weight loss surgery and glucose tests. It's very muddled, very confusing. Some say yes, some say no. I think there's a definitely not. The regular standardized glucose test does not work if you have an RNY. I don't have an RNY. I'm a sleever. Some sleevers say their doctors wouldn't do it because they didn't think it would be accurate, so they did like a week of finger pricks after eating. And then others say, yeah, I did it just fine, made my stomach upset, but it was fine. So, those of you saying, does that even work? I don't know at this point. I am going to write a message to my doctor's office to ask them what they think, if they think we're doing the right thing. I don't know. I actually don't know particularly how experienced the office is dealing with pregnancy after weight loss surgery. I would imagine at least somewhat experienced because there is a weight loss surgery center here in Spokane. So there are surgeries done here and at large. So I'm just going to run that by them before I do the 3-hour test, because the problem with the 3-hour test is this. I can only eat so much, and actually my sleeve is tighter now than it was before my pregnancy. And in order to do the 3-hour test at 8 o'clock in the morning, I have to stop eating at 8 p.m. that night. And then I don't eat through the entire test, which means I am going to go 15 hours without food and only be able to put down so many ounces of food when it's over. So I'm going to run that by my doctor's office as well. How does that affect the test? Is there any way we can, since I don't hold that much food at once, can it run like, can my fasting start later at night rather than being at 12 hours before the test and then 3 hours into the test? I basically stick something in my mouth every hour and a half right now. My diet mostly consists of yogurt and cheese and granola and, whole grains and protein and stuff like that. So I'm still pretty well balanced. I have developed quite the sweet tooth lately, which is not really what you want around Valentine's Day when there's a bazillion different candies everywhere. We've mostly kept it as much out of the house as possible, not just for my sake, but because we have a 10-year-old who steals chocolate. So that's how that works. All of those things all factor in. Overall, doing good. Miss my mommy, wish she was here. She passed away about 7 years ago yesterday, and that's drawn up a lot of things. But things are good. Things are moving forward. Plans are taking place. Babies are healthy. I'm healthy. My blood pressure is normal. All those wonderful things. I love you guys. Have good days, good weeks, and good months. Bye.